Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on firstly The Flash Season 7, but then later we're going to be jumping into some other DC TV stuff overall. So it's a bit of a mixed bag in a good way. So over the past weekend we had CCXP, which I don't know if it stands for anything. Central City XP, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, CCXP, can't even speak, over in Brazil, which was set up to be people were talking about to be like the convention to run later in the calendar year that would be on the on the levels or the same level of what San Diego Comic-Con has been for years. And well, there weren't many reveals for the movies or TV side of things this time around, but I guess weird pandemic stuff, I don't know, maybe that was why. Anyway, there was a Flash panel, however, with Danielle Nicolette and Kayla Compton, who plays Cecile and Allegra, as you'd expect, because it didn't have any main people there. Nothing really was even brought up there. I think they replayed the DC Fandom trailer, and I think they just did like a Q&A. It wasn't anything, I think, really worth watching from what I can understand. Now, outside of Batwoman, there was nothing new for any DC TV properties at the convention. Batwoman had like a behind-the-scenes thing and a couple of new shots. It wasn't a lot, but it was something. But in regards to there not being anything else for the other DC TV properties, some saw that as a surprise, especially for The Flash, as that show is very, very big in South America. So it could have been seen as like a logical choice to debut something for The Flash at this convention, and maybe even Superman and Lois, but that wasn't the case. So due to this, people were wondering, okay, so when's the next trailer going to be dropping for The Flash, and I guess first trailers for some of the other shows? And thanks to something that dropped either... Well, it's probably going to be today or maybe yesterday, depending on when I upload this video, we have a sign of things to come in regards to the trailer side of things. So in the past couple of hours from when I'm making this video, it was tweeted out that the Riverdale Season 5 trailer would be coming out tomorrow. Around the same time, I'd assume they'd release it. So depending on when this video was uploaded, it might already be out, I'm not even sure, but even then, that doesn't really matter for the point of this video. So last week, they already had uploaded some season trailers for the show of Nancy Drew. Now, you might be sitting there wondering like, okay, well, hold on. I'm sitting here for a bit wondering, Pagey, what the hell do Riverdale and Nancy Drew have to do with The Flash and even some of the other DC TV shows? Well, as some of you may remember in a video a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, I did mention that I had been told by someone who had given me accurate information in the past for not just like information for the shows, it's nothing that, but mainly for like trailer releases and just general press related stuff, that the CW was holding off on trailers due to the late premiere of the shows, and that they would be going for more of a big build up over the month or two leading up to the show's premiering, rather than starting like 3 or 4 months beforehand and then them being scattered. They'd rather go bang, 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 bang in the lead up before the shows come out. So over the remainder of this month of December, we're already like over a week into this month anyway, but we will see a big build up with proper trailers for shows starting in January, like Batwoman, Riverdale, and Nancy Drew. So we have Riverdale tomorrow. We had Nancy Drew stuff last week, and we've had some Batwoman stuff previously as well. So in the rest of this month, we're going to see more and more of that stuff for especially shows starting in January. With shows like The Flash, Black Lightning, and potentially Superman and Lois, which are shows starting in February, also expected to get, involved in promos being released. However, they probably, if not most likely, won't get proper trailers like a minute or so in length or around that time, just focused on them solely until January. Potentially they will get these longer solely focused trailers when the other shows premiere as like time on promotion in early January, and in this lead up in December would be focused on the shows premiering first in January, in that month. But that's for us to wait and see. Who knows what they're going to do exactly. It's important to remember that Superman and Lois had started late. It's got a longer production time for its first episode or so. So Superman and Lois is only like 2 episodes in, maybe 3 into their filming, while The Flash is like 6 or 7 episodes in, had the issue with COVID. I think they're back filming now. I think Candace Patton posted something on her story, I think it was today or yesterday, and she was dressed as Iris, so she's back filming. And even they might have been back filming earlier than that as well. It's just that that's the first public thing that we know they're back filming. So I guess the rush to get trailers and other promo material out could depend on what footage is available, but for Flash and some other shows, there's a good amount there. Especially Flash, they got a lot there. They have enough to show as a promo, obviously. But yeah, this whole thing's like a wait and see thing. As I said, they're doing the whole big build up rather than scattering it out too much. So it's up to them when they want to do it, but I'm sure they have a proper strategy in regards to how they want to promote the shows. But yeah, that's all to talk about in regards to trailer releases and stuff like that. So the back half of this video, I want to be talking about a bunch of episode titles that came out for both Superman and Lois and Batwoman. So I'm sure most of you, or some of you, watched my video last week sometime. We went over the first 5 episodes for The Flash Season 7 in regards to their episode titles, while Superman and Lois and Batwoman got the exact same treatment. So we'll go over the Superman and Lois ones first, not wasting any time. So episode 1, as you'd expect, it's a brand new show. It's the first episode of a brand new show, so the episode is called Pilot. It's pretty simple. So you'd expect what you'd expect in a pilot. The pilot script is already out there if you don't want to go read it. I'm not going to spoil it here, but obviously we know the show's set in Smallville, so it's them going back to Smallville and some shenanigans occur. So that's all to say there without really jumping into spoilery stuff. Episode 2 is called Heritage. Now, you could go probably a couple of different routes or paths with this. You could say that maybe like the two sons of Clark Kent or Superman learn that their dad is Superman. Like, that'd be a pretty big thing. But maybe they might leave that for a bit later into the season. Or maybe Heritage could more be leaning on the sons learning more about Smallville and their dad's history in Smallville, and maybe even the family history in Smallville and stuff like that, which would lean more into Heritage. It could go either way. I think it's obviously going to be it's going to be like leaned on their father or on Superman, but whether it's on the Clark Kent side of Superman or the Superman side of Superman. So we'll have to wait and see what's there, but I think it's going to be one of them. Especially because you can like dive into their relationship a bit more, and that's going to be an important part of the show. Episode 3 is called The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower. So obviously there's that movie and book and stuff. Now this is most likely about Jonathan Kent, who is meant to be like the sportier, more confident and athletic son. A wallflower is more of what Jordan Kent would be, like an introvert, and I think like someone that's very anxious and like has like social anxiety and stuff like that. That's what a wallflower pretty much is. So the perks of not being a wallflower, you think would focus on the more athletic son, which would be Jonathan Kent. And I'm sure there'll be it could focus on both of them. It might show like the differences that they both have in school and just in life in general. And yeah, so it might be focused on both of the sons, but I think the title specifically is referring to Jonathan Kent, the more athletic son. So yeah. Episode 4 is called Haywire. Now, Haywire is a DC character from the 80s, a very short-lived one. It could be focused on him. They could do something there. Could be focused on something completely different. But in regards to a reference to DC Comics and the DC Universe, Haywire is a character. Whether they use him is a possibility. I don't know. I don't know what the show's going to be structured like. Is there villains of the week? Are there randomly villains showing up in Smallville again? I don't know. We have to wait and see what the premise of the show is exactly, where it makes sense for there to be villains of the week, but we'll have to wait and see. But Haywire is a DC Comics character they could use. And lastly, episode 5 for Superman and Lois Season 1 is called The Beacon. Now, Beacon is a character from the comics, a very recent one as well, who's actually a friend of Superman's son, John Kent, in the comics. It could be in reference to this. It would line up maybe with some of the show, but the title could be about Superman maybe being a beacon to the world. It could have a double meaning. Maybe it's about both. But yeah, once again, it's sort of similar to the Haywire situation. There is a character called Beacon in the DC universe, but obviously one of the common things about Superman is being a beacon to the world and to the people and everything like that. So it could be a reference to that, especially when it's called The Beacon, not just Beacon. So I don't know. Up to you to decide which one you want to choose. And finally, we'll move on to the Batwoman Season 2 episodes. And there's some actually pretty interesting titles here, which I think I've got a good grip on maybe what all of them could mean. So yeah. Now, episode 1 of Season 2 is a pretty simple one. It's called Whatever Happened to Kate Kane. The title's obvious. I don't even have to jump into it. It's going to be jumping into what happened to Kate Kane, why she's gone, why there's a new Batwoman, everything like that. I'm very curious to see how they explain it, whether it's messy or not. I think it's going to be messy regardless. It's just on the level of messiness, and whether it's something that makes you go, oh, that's a bit like, couldn't have done a better job, or whether it's the best they could do in the situation. So I'm excited to see what they do there, as well as a bit anxious at the same time. Episode 2 is called Prior Criminal History. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to be like going over Ryan Wilder's past. From like the character description we got like ages ago when they were casting the character, Ryan Wilder was like a former drug runner, so I'm sure that's what the prior criminal history is about, whether she should be someone that's fighting for justice and taking out criminals when she herself is one that might not have been properly charged for her life and crime as well. So maybe that's what they're going down there. Well, that's most likely what they're doing. It's most likely referring to Ryan Wilder, but in regards to how they handle it and exactly what they reference is up in the air, but that's probably what they're talking about. Episode 3 is called Batgirl Magic. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is a play on Black Girl Magic, which was like a like a movement of sorts, like what, like 10 years ago? Or like, maybe like anywhere from like 5 to 10 years ago. It's still a thing, but like I think it started around that time. So I think it's a play on that, which would make sense when you have a black Batwoman, Batgirl magic, black girl magic. I think that makes sense. If there's another reason there, because obviously it's not Batgirl, it's Batwoman. So called, you know what I mean? So I think that's what it's talking about there, but I might be wrong, but let me know. Episode 4 is probably the one with the biggest question mark on it. I've just chucked a random one in here, but I think it might be what it's about, especially because of some setup from last season, the fact that this character's still appearing. But the episode is called Fair Skin, Blue Eyes. Now, I just think this is about Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne has fair skin and blue eyes, and we know that there's going to be like the whole Bruce Wayne thing going on with Hush. He's in this season, for those wondering if they're cancelling that or scrapping that storyline. He's in this season. Warren Christie, who appeared as Bruce Wayne, or Hush being Bruce Wayne, at the end of last season, he is in Batwoman Season 2. So I think this could be about him. So yeah, that's my pick at least. Episode 5, the final of these Batwoman titles to go over, is called Gore on Canvas. And this is probably about Doodlebug. Now, Doodlebug is a villain who uses blood as like paint, as well as other, well, interesting artistic traits. So that's probably what Gore on Canvas is referring to about Doodlebug. So this could be an interesting thing. You might be going, oh, that's a bit dark maybe, but Batwoman's done some dark stuff in season 1. Like there was a lot of, like, remember the woman that like was cutting faces and stuff like that, and even like the vampire stuff. So they've used blood before. It's nothing too over the top. So I think this is probably what this is referring to, the character of Doodlebug. You can Google him if you want to, and see what he's like. But yeah, guys, that's all to go over in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You have any theories about the episode titles, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, as well as any other stuff we talked about earlier on. And yeah, let me know all that in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the near future. I'll see you then. Goodbye.